Hey everyone, welcome to Revolution Show. In today's video, we're going deep into the shocking coup attempt in Burkina Faso that almost shook the country on January 14, 2024. What led to this bold move against Captain Ibrahim Traoré's government, and why is it a game changer for the future of the Sahel region? The stakes have never been higher, and in this video, we're breaking it all down for you. Trust me, you won't want to miss this. So, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell icon, and let's dive into the tensions, betrayals, and high drama behind this attempt to overthrow a nation's leadership. Let's get started. 1. What happened? January 14, 2024 coup attempt in Burkina Faso. On January 14, 2024, the military-led transitional government of Burkina Faso announced it had foiled a coup plot targeting Captain Ibrahim Traoré, who has led the country since his own military takeover in September 2022. Key facts. Event. An organized attempt to overthrow the current military leadership. Plotters included active and retired military personnel, along with civilian accomplices. Location. Likely centered in Ouagadougou, the capital, where most military and political operations are based. Objective. To destabilize government institutions and forcibly remove Traoré from power. How it was foiled. Burkina Faso's intelligence services uncovered the plot before it could be executed. The government launched a rapid investigation, leading to multiple arrests. Investigators carried out technical analyses, likely involving surveillance, intercepted communications, or digital forensics to understand the depth and structure of the plan. Arrests and evidence. Exact number of arrests not publicly disclosed. No weapons, documents, or logistics revealed to the public at the time. The government emphasized that those involved would be prosecuted in accordance with national law. This event reflects both the tenuous grip on power Traoré holds and the continuing volatility within Burkina Faso's armed forces and political class too. Government statement. January 14, 2024 coup attempt. Following the foiled coup attempt, the Burkina transitional government issued an official statement to the nation and the international community. The statement was delivered by Jean-Emmanuel Ouedraogo, the government spokesperson and Minister of Communication. Key points from the government's statement. Acknowledgement of the plot. Greater than, a proven plot to destabilize the country's institutions was discovered and neutralized. Response and action taken. Greater than, several individuals involved in this plan, including both military and civilian actors, have been arrested. Assurance of national security. Greater than, the situation is fully under control. The Burkina people should remain calm and confident in the capacity of our defense and security forces. Ongoing investigations. Greater than, investigations are still ongoing, including technical analyses and intelligence gathering, to uncover all actors and motivations behind the attempt. Legal consequences. Greater than, all those implicated will be dealt with in accordance with the law, and national institutions remain strong and resilient. Tone and messaging. Firm and reassuring. The government sought to project stability and authority in the face of internal threats. Silent on specifics. No names, affiliations, or external links were confirmed publicly. Nationalistic undertone. Reinforced a narrative of national unity and the importance of preserving sovereignty. 3. No details on specifics. January 14, 2024 coup attempt. Despite confirming that a coup plot had been thwarted, the Burkina government released very limited concrete details about the incident. This lack of transparency raised questions both domestically and internationally. What was withheld? Names of plotters. No identities of the arrested individuals were publicly disclosed, neither military ranks, affiliations, nor civilian roles were named. Structure of the plot. Authorities did not explain how the plot was to be executed, no mention of timing, weapons caches, communication channels, staging areas or collaborators. Motive. While the government stated the aim was to destabilize institutions, no deeper ideological, political, or factional motivations were provided. External influence. Although Burkina Faso's government has accused foreign powers in the past of interference, no direct connection between this plot and any foreign government or group was officially stated. Why the silence? Analysis. Security strategy. The government may have withheld details to protect ongoing intelligence operations or prevent tipping off additional suspects. Internal military sensitivity. Revealing which ranks or units were involved could spark division or mistrust within the armed forces. Political control. Keeping the narrative vague allows the regime to maintain flexibility in framing the incident as needed, either to justify crackdowns or rally public support. Public and media reaction. Skepticism from civil society. Some local groups and analysts questioned whether the coup was real, exaggerated, or politically manipulated to justify increased repression. International caution. Foreign governments and media noted the announcement but expressed caution in assessing its validity without more evidence. 4. Broader context. January 14, 2024 coup attempt in Burkina Faso. The foiled coup attempt on January 14, 2024, cannot be viewed in isolation but must be understood within the larger context of Burkina Faso's political instability, regional tensions, and Captain Ibrahim Traoré's leadership. 1. Political instability and Traoré's rise to power. Traoré's seizure of power, September 2022, Captain Ibrahim Traoré led a military coup that ousted Lieutenant Colonel Paul-Henri Damiba. Traoré's justification for the coup was the failure to address growing jihadist violence in the country and the weakness of Damiba's government in tackling insecurity. Support and opposition. Traoré quickly gained popularity among certain sectors, especially the military and youth who were frustrated with Damiba's inability to secure the country. However, his rise also created internal divisions, particularly within the military, with some factions loyal to the ousted Damiba or influenced by foreign powers, e.g., France. 2. The coup cycle in Burkina Faso. Multiple coup attempts. Since Traoré's ascent to power in September 2022, at least 4 coup attempts have been reported, including the January 2024 plot. This reflects a fragile grip on power and internal dissatisfaction within the military and political establishment. Security failures and military fractures. Despite Traoré's anti-imperialist stance and promises to fight jihadist insurgencies, the country's security situation has not improved significantly. This persistent failure to restore order may be contributing to increasing unrest within the armed forces, fueling dissent and fueling coup plotting. 3. Regional tensions and influence. The Sahel crisis. Burkina Faso is part of the Sahel region, which has seen rising instability and a shift away from traditional Western powers. Burkina Faso, alongside Mali and Niger, is part of the G5 Sahel nations that have embraced anti-Western rhetoric and deepened relations with Russia through the Wagner Group, further isolating the country from France and former colonial powers. Burkina Faso's shift toward Russia and Wagner Group. Traoré's government has made clear its intention to move away from French influence and collaborate more with Russia, especially in combating jihadist forces. This pivot has heightened internal military divisions, with some factions in the armed forces reportedly still sympathetic to France or skeptical of the shift. 4. Broader implications of the coup attempt. Internal military tensions. The January 2024 coup attempt highlights the internal fracture within Burkina Faso's military, with different factions possibly vying for influence and control over the direction of the country. It's likely that the plot was the result of rival factions, some supporting the current leadership under Traoré, while others might have been loyal to Damiba or allied to Western interests. Impact on national security and governance. This event underscores the continuing instability and the inability to effectively tackle security challenges, which remain a top priority for the government. The ongoing violence from Islamist insurgencies and jihadist groups continues to challenge Traoré's ability to fulfill his promises of security. International concerns. Burkina Faso's relationship with the West, particularly France, remains strained. The coup attempt and Traoré's efforts to solidify power amidst foreign skepticism and internal opposition may push international organizations to reconsider their support or responses to Burkina Faso's future. 5. Political and social implications. Tightening of control. After the failed coup, it's expected that Traoré's government will tighten control over military factions, including possible purges within the armed forces to eliminate any disloyal officers. Public support and legitimacy. Despite internal opposition, Traoré's populist appeal, especially among those advocating for anti-colonial sentiment and sovereignty, remains strong, particularly in rural areas and among youth groups. The future of Burkina Faso. The attempt and ongoing instability point to a challenging road ahead for Burkina Faso's future. Whether Traoré can maintain power will largely depend on his ability to unite the military, improve national security, and manage internal divisions. 5. Political implications. January 14, 2024 coup attempt in Burkina Faso. The foiled coup attempt on January 14, 2024, carries significant political implications for Burkina Faso's governance, military dynamics, and its position on the international stage. Below is a breakdown of the main political consequences of the incident. 1. Increased consolidation of power by Traoré, tightening control over the military. After the coup attempt, Captain Ibrahim Traoré's government is likely to initiate a stronger consolidation of power within the military. This could involve purges of officers suspected of disloyalty, strengthening loyal military factions and reducing influence from those loyal to the ousted Lieutenant Colonel Paul-Henri Damiba. Stronger leadership legitimacy. Traoré's ability to thwart the coup could reinforce his leadership in the eyes of supporters, particularly if he successfully frames the incident as an attempt by internal traitors. This strengthens his narrative of protecting Burkina Faso's sovereignty against external and internal enemies. 2. Repression and crackdown on dissent, internal purges and loyalty tests. After the coup attempt, it is highly likely that the government will implement a stronger crackdown on perceived opposition within the military and civil society. This could involve suspensions or removals of personnel in critical government or military positions suspected of being involved in anti-government activities. Increasing surveillance and repression of dissenting voices, including journalists, activists, and military personnel critical of Traoré's rule. Centralization of power. To avoid further threats to his rule, Traoré might adopt more authoritarian measures, centralizing control within his government to reduce the risk of future coups. This might include constitutional amendments or emergency decrees that grant him greater control over national security and governance. 3. Impact on national unity and social cohesion. Fostering divisions within the military. The military has become a fractured institution, with pro-Traoré factions and those who remain loyal to Damiba or are sympathetic to Western interests. The coup attempt may lead to further polarization within the armed forces and social divisions in the wider population. Rising tensions with civil society. As the government focuses on securing its military base, tensions between the government and civil society could intensify. There are concerns that increasing authoritarian measures could lead to growing resentment among ordinary citizens who feel left out of the political process or burdened by military rule. 4. Traoré's anti-Western stance and international relations. Continued rejection of French influence. Traoré's government has pursued an anti-colonial, pan-African agenda, distancing Burkina Faso from former colonial power France. The failed coup attempt may provide Traoré with an opportunity to double down on his anti-Western rhetoric. He might frame the plot as part of a Western-backed conspiracy, using this narrative to rally nationalistic support and enhance his legitimacy by aligning with Russia and other anti-Western partners. Isolation from Western alliances. The coup attempt and subsequent tightening of power could further isolate Burkina Faso from Western powers, particularly France and the European Union. This could lead to sanctions or diplomatic pressure from Western countries, reduced foreign aid and economic isolation, which could exacerbate Burkina Faso's already precarious economic situation, strengthening ties with Russia and the Sahel alliance. As part of its pivot away from the West, Burkina Faso might deepen ties with Russia, particularly through the Wagner Group, and with neighboring Mali and Niger. These countries are also moving away from traditional Western partners in favor of Russian influence. This could create a more unified anti-Western bloc in the Sahel, despite the internal risks and challenges. 5. Regional security dynamics. A shift toward autonomy in the Sahel. Burkina Faso's increasingly independent stance might encourage other Sahel nations, like Mali and Niger, to strengthen their cooperative security arrangements outside Western frameworks. This regional shift could affect broader counterterrorism efforts and international stability in the Sahel. Military and civilian tensions in the region. The foiled coup could also embolden militant groups operating in the Sahel, who may view the instability within Burkina Faso's government as an opportunity to expand their influence. If the government spends more time focused on internal security rather than counterinsurgency, the Islamist insurgencies could grow stronger. 6. Possible effects on national elections and transition. Delaying democratic transition. Traoré's leadership might take even longer to implement promised democratic reforms, especially if he believes the country is not yet stable enough for elections. In this case, the government may seek to extend military rule indefinitely, citing security concerns and the need for national unity. Potential for increased military control. If the coup attempt is framed as an external conspiracy, Traoré's government may use it as justification for increased military control over not just security but also governance. This could significantly delay any prospects of a return to civilian rule. Conclusion. The political implications of the January 14, 2024 coup attempt are vast and multifaceted. Traoré's leadership is more firmly entrenched, but at the cost of increased repression, military instability, and potential isolation from the international community. The government's ability to balance internal cohesion, regional alliances, and external pressures will be crucial to determining the future direction of Burkina Faso.